They didn't have the real tech that like we'd already kind of found out, but like weren't completely sharing yet.
Yeah, and so
now they know.
Now they know. And the other important scene is Maryland, which is GEORDI and Chaz.
Yes. It's basically GEORDI and Chaz. I think they got a couple of boys, but none of them came out here.
They are currently the strongest too.
As far as here goes, it's GEORDI and Chaz, and
they busted out of nowhere.
Right. They showed up last year at CEOtaku, and we're like, oh hey, we're here to play some Catherine, and we're like, yeah,
oh,
dude, play.
Cool. Like, come on.
And then they're just like, oh wait, these guys are good already? Like, no one just shows up and is good at Catherine.
All they had to play against each other was each other.
Right.
And so they developed their own specific metagame that was so different from what like NorCal and Florida had explored.
And I guess we're getting right into it. They apparently went to Cathedral. This is not a button check, it looks like.
Yeah, this is right into it. They were
right
both
into it
warm
at
and
Cathedral,
ready.
yeah.
The Florida weather, it's already too hot to wait.
I like how it worked out that they happened to go to Cathedral. I'm like, oh, we're already here.
They were watching. They were paying attention. So we got Sketches on Orange Sheep.
Yes.
And GEORDI on blue. I tend to notice that Maryland likes blue a bit more. I'm not sure if there's a specific reason for that, but
GEORDI just taking off, making the stage fall from under Sketches. An interesting thing about this game is if you're so much farther above them, I believe it's 10 levels?
About that, yes.
Yeah.
The stage will fall faster.
The stage will fall faster. So it tries to keep at most a 10 level difference. And if it gets to that point, it will just drop all the extra levels. So
yeah, it's pretty rough.
If you climb up like 13 levels at once, you're suddenly going to be dropping 3 levels below you.
And another
from the bottom.
Another important factor that we just saw about the X factor specifically is that items in this game have a rubber banding quality. So if an opponent is climbing higher than you and like multiple floors above you, items will spawn more frequently and more powerful items will spawn if you are below.
I believe you can only get an X factor if you're at least even with them. If you're ahead, you cannot.
Yes, that is correct.
Makes sense because why would you need to have the double climb ability if you're already that far ahead?
GEORDI's definitely making things a bit scary right now. He is.
He's trying to push some stuff out, but he has some problems. Sketches just saying he doesn't care. Trying to go for it, and he can make it to the top.
Sketches was right. He's got the block.
I agree, yeah, he does have the block, and he just makes it to the top. Tying up the rounds.
Yeah, if you can save a block and like the opponent just can't catch up to interact, it makes most of the end game solves.
Yeah, because there's always a solve at the end you kind of got to figure out to get to the actual goal.
Yes, and if you haven't noticed, most of the wins in this game come from kills.
Yeah.
But you can climb to the top and reach that final red velvet platform.
It doesn't happen as often, but it does happen.
Yes.
And you definitely can't ignore it. And like, look at right now, GEORDI's just taking off. Chaz gets the snake bite, the double X factor. So and he's saying, no, he's not trying to avoid a fight as much as he can. He just wants to take off. Yeah, and so you could actually go there, and that's a dangerous spot to be in.
Yeah, you don't want to climb up that because you'll fall immediately.
And same thing, he was
just doing that to delay that X factor, but he's still got another.
He's got another X factor, and that's a good spot to be in there. He takes it, jumps up here. He wants to take off, and he's doing it.
This push won't be enough. It's anchored on too many sides.
Yeah, I don't think GEORDI can take it out. But wow, this is a weird spot for Sketches. He's got to do a weird solve here, and it looks like he couldn't get it. Now the about equal.
Oh, that was a really bad push to make.
And he's got to figure it out. GEORDI doesn't have to move. He can just wait.
Yeah.
He could. Yeah. And Sketches.
I mean, it's fine to keep moving as long as you're moving safe.
I agree. Right. You want to be careful. And I've definitely had times where like I've been in a bad situation. I know a lot of people get in a bad situation are like, oh, I lose, and they'll kill themselves. I will always wait to see if my opponent messes up.
Never. In this game, never do that.
Especially on some of the stages if there's a hazard, because like they'll just be like, oh, I'm going to keep climbing to end this faster, and like mess up and die.
Also, it's one of those things where I see people who are quote-unquote stranded give up before they try everything.
Right, there's a lot of times you can get out. If you pull a block, an item
could spawn. Yeah. If you, and like sometimes there are solves, if you just like stop,
there's some really weird. I had one earlier where I fell off the back of a stage, and it was like, oh, he's probably dead, and then I like came back down, pushed out, and like was able to get back up. It's really weird. Oh, okay, so the names are apparently mixed up. Sketches is actually blue, so Sketches won that game.
All right. Good to know. Thanks for the correction. That does make a lot more sense now, because I saw GEORDI doing the climb the staircase like almost every time, and that didn't feel like a very GEORDI thing to do, whereas Sketches loves it. Like, Sketches doesn't mind being ahead if he can play defense, which is what he's doing right now.
Right. So you see him gets up there, and he's like, oh, yeah, I can rock this. And that was a good use of the dark block, partially to bridge, but also it means he can't actually mess with that anymore, because if there's a dark block on the end, the dark block can't be pushed at all.
Right.
So if you try to push a whole blow and there's a whole row, excuse me, and there's a dark block there, it won't go anywhere. You cannot move it. So
also the important thing to note there was when GEORDI's like space was compromised, he just decided to leave.
Yeah.
Because GEORDI, well, Sketches is a pretty creative fighter, and I think GEORDI, like, if he can, he wants to use his strongest ability, which is just climbing.
It was a really weird, like, Seidel, using the invuln from Seidel to get through, and he keeps hitting him off. Wow, goes too far.
He's fine.
He's off the edge. There's a block back there, pushes it all out. Can he do anything? No. He cannot do anything
If he had used the block in his hand, he could have.
Yes, he could have.
But
you are
that
correct.
moment, you're just like, where am I? What am I doing?
He also, like, can't actually see himself, so he's not quite sure what blocks are there.
Yeah, it's
Getting
really
caught
tough.
on the back of the stage is not an easy situation to be in.
Okay, Sketches going with the build this time.
Yeah.
This is a variation on the staircase, it seems?
It looks like, yeah, somewhere between, like, the staircase and the trump.
The unfortunate X Factor fell to the abyss.
Yeah, but he still has a chance of pulling when he is, well, not anymore. He's a bit closer now. But he is catching up, saying he does not want to bridge over and fight, taking the bridge from him, just kind of trying to climb on his own. Goes over to take the dark block, though.
Swapping sides.
And again, Sketches just trying to get out of there. He's like, you know, I'm cool here.
Ooh.
I also do want to say it's interesting they ended up going back to Cathedral. He had the option to change stages, and he did not.
So that means it was GEORDI's pick.
It was GEORDI's pick, and he says, no, I can win on Cathedral.
All right, we're close to the edge.
It's looking like he can. He's got the X Factor.
Does he pick the right side? Because it's either on the left or the right side. Does he know which side?
It is on.
Yeah.
You can see it.
The hint. Yeah. The hint is you look for the dark block.
Right.
Not many people know that.
And there was a point where you can actually see it flashing when he got high enough.
Right.
But yeah,
so I mean, the pick worked out.
Right. GEORDI with a quick one there. In theory, assuming Dave's stupid roll is unaffected, neither of them can go back to Cathedral now.
I believe that is
they
correct.
have both won on Cathedral. They could presumably assume to Gentleman's back to it, but
I don't see that happening.
I don't either. It looks like they're going to Clock Tower. And this one, consider this one is not finals. This is 2 out of 3. So the next one wins this.
So that means, this is Sketch's pick. And Sketches is going for the sketchy stage.
That's true.
And so, even though I say that, the only really sketchy part of this stage is the beginning.
Right. Once you're past the beginning, like I actually realized recently, I always go for some silly stuff at the beginning. And because of that, I don't really know the stage very well. And yeah, so he's hit a lot of bombs there. So GEORDI has hit a lot of bombs. And his side of the stage, like you're going to see a lot of that's going to blow up. They're still anchored on the right.
It's still stable because he used basically a very quick build that doesn't step on the blocks a lot.
But he fell off at one point and hit like the left one. So there was one bomb he didn't hit, and that's what's anchoring it all.
And here you go.
Yeah, he's
this
pushing
is
the
what
whole
we're
stage
talking
off.
about.
He's got to branch over and push the rest slow. Can he make it?
No, it's anchored on an actual gap.
Wow, he could not get. He thought he had it all.
There was, I believe, what happened was there was actually a 2 wide row and a bomb exploded. So that means the other one still wasn't anchored.
Wow. Crazy stuff on Clock
So
Tower.
like I said, like the farther you go on the stage, the harder it becomes to push out because of these, like it stabilizes on both sides, not just, whereas in the beginning, the sides are blowing up, like it's very easy.
The thing is, in the beginning, you can entirely blow up the whole stage. GEORDI steps on the crack block one too many times, just falls through. That was a huge misstep by GEORDI. And this is it. This is the round to take it. Winner of this round advances to losers finals to play Dasabro.
All right, they're both going. Ooh, they're going inside. That means there could be some interactions.
Gets the push down here, and that's a smart dog.
GEORDI escapes.
Oh, GEORDI just climbs up. Wow, Sketch is actually in kind of a bad spot here, and that dark block was actually really.
X Factor is actually not what he wants.
No, but he's gonna need it.
He comes back just in time.
He needed to get out of there fast, and he knew it.
But yeah, normally in those situations, a block is a bit more stable. But thank God that worked.
Yeah, and he's in a weird spot. Gets a hit on GEORDI. Goes for the combo.
Triple hit.
But he has to push down. No, this is really bad. But no, GEORDI takes it. Over Maester Sketches, and that's
he's not leaving?
I think that's it. Because it's
are we confirming? Oh,
even for loser semis? Because that's not finals. They said best of 5. Okay.
All right. Good to know.
It says best of 5 for all. So, good to know.
So maybe that's why he could choose the stage with more impunity.
Yeah, that makes a bit more sense now.
Sketches had the one game immunity to just like, you know what, let's see how he deals with this. Yeah. And while it wasn't, like there were some times where he did have an advantage in the scramble situations, it wasn't like solid enough that I would say that this is sort of like his stage.
No, I definitely think he should pick something else. I don't know what.
I'm thinking either Torture or Spiral,
Torch is a pretty stable stage. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's one of those that you can set up for, like, if on that last where he was just staircase comboing him.
Yeah.
On Torture, like, that would eventually ended on a spike block, and that would have ended it all.
Yeah.
So.
Or he would have pushed out. So the other thing is about that combo, like when he kind of drop kicks him down in the combo, like you saw in the last game. You can push the block out from under him.
Yes, you can interrupt it.
Right. And so doing that will generally kill them if they don't anticipate it. But doing that also puts you in the altered state, which means the next time you drop down and hang, you will just drop.
And it's pretty rough to like solve it once you're that high up on Cathedral.
Right.
And you see there, if they're ever on the same side of the block, and they're both like vying to see who will pull it first, if someone is pulling while the other pushes, the pusher will climb up and then fall into thin air.
Yeah, it's a really weird situation.
It's sort of a like guaranteed time that the opponent can like climb up and step on them afterwards. Pretty dangerous, actually.
Yeah, so like when you're fighting over the block, there's always kind of a weird situation. And wow! A huge misstep from Sketches to just not drop off the side of the spike block. Gets hit there.
I was watching GEORDI, so I'm really not sure what happened.
He just walked 3 blocks over and I guess didn't go the 4th one to go back. He might have tried to turn and go off the side and just took too long.
Could be a little bit of a hand shakiness.
Right, like maybe a bit of nerves. Yeah. That was just, honestly, it was just a huge misplay from Sketches.
Yeah, so you're seeing there, he did not want to climb up on those 3 spike blocks because if Sketches had pushed it correctly while GEORDI had either tried to run away from it, the spikes would move under with him and kill him.
And so the best situation in that point is actually to drop off the side of it. So you would want to climb up, drop back off the side, but it's still dangerous.
It's one of those things where in this game you just you weigh a lot of options. You'd be like, all right, this option could kill me. Let's just not do it.
A lot of times, like just avoiding the situation is the best answer.
Exactly.
And he's in a weird spot there where he can't enter that space while he's sidling on it.
Right.
So he can sidle there and just kind of hang out and not really have to worry about it. And he wants to get off that, climbs up to avoid the spikes.
And again, he didn't want to interact.
He almost had the pin. That was a big play. And GEORDI not pushing the block out there. That was an interesting choice. Because a lot of times you would see, anticipate them going.
I think there's just a lot of stress going on right now.
Really
like, neither one wants to fuck.
Yeah, and same thing again. You see him climbing over it, and if he had pushed the block, he would have won. But
there's the hit there.
But he's got the pin. However, he's
Orange has the timing.
Right. So here's where you see the Blue Sheep advantage coming into play. If Blue Sheep has the pin like this, Blue Sheep will win no matter what.
You just don't have to move.
Right. So if Orange Sheep has the pin like this and it all falls out from under him, Blue Sheep will still win. So you see him timing this here. You pull it out. You count the head bombs. A little over 9, and he climb up. He got it fine. GEORDI takes it over Sketches. Advances to play Dowsed Row in losers finals.
I really hope Sketches doesn't beat himself up over that because that was
he played really well. That was a really good set.
And you could tell at the end of it, both of them just